What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is Heart DFS or Heart, and today we have another NBA Slates breakdown on Draftkings. A nice 11 gamer to start with for this Wednesday. And before I get into it, I just want to say, follow my Twitter at HeartDFS. I put up my prize pick videos, links. I tweet other stuff, answer any questions you guys may have, so definitely do that. And I just want to say shout out to all the new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, for liking my videos. I really appreciate it. And I do have, an announcement, as I said in my last prize picks video. So if you haven't seen that, I am doing a $100 giveaway. There's more information in that about how to enter, and I will be making an announcement video over the coming week with more details to follow. So, the number one way is to just subscribe, because when I get 100 subscribers, that's when I'll do the drawing. So just subscribe for now, like my videos, and I will give you more information on that coming up. But let's get into it today. We have Dallas and Cleveland. Should be a decent game. Luka just went off against the Lakers, threw up 75. They're up 30 points the whole game. Very frustrating because I had Austin Reeves in prize picks, and he got benched. Started the game, 3 points at half. Got benched the second half, even though they're down 30 the whole game. You'd think, they'd run their young guys. They're going to give up. Nope. They put in all their old heads. They try to win the game, and they still lose by 30. Unreal. But we got Luke at the top, 12K. Price came up a bit, obviously. But in this matchup versus Cleveland, don't mind it. He's the whole team. Brunson came back down to earth. I just really can't trust any of the plays on this side besides Luke at the top. Cleveland side, we got Garland 10-2. I do think some of his assist opportunity does go down with Mobley out with the ankle. And we can look to guys like Kevin Love probably drawing the start. So it'll probably be Garland, Love, Markkanen, LeVert, and probably Isaac Okoro. He's not a good point per minute guy at 4,200. He will get a start. I'm not going to go there. I don't recommend going there. I'd say Garland at the top, 10-2, looks like a good spot against Dallas. Kevin Love. I just messed it up again. Let me reset this. Okay. Oh, it's still messed up. How do I get this? No. There we go. Sorry. Kevin Love, 6,900. Price has come up, but he's going to get... I don't know if he's going to get more than about 30, 32 minutes. He is a little bit older, so they may try to limit him a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye out on any news about Kevin Love's minutes, but don't mind him at 6,900 against Dallas. Should be able to pay that off if he's hitting his threes. Laurie, didn't like him on the Bulls, don't like him on the Cavs. I just think he's really limited upside. Not going to go there at 6'5". Caris LeVert, I do like a little bit. He's in the starting lineup. Last game, he shot the ball a ton. He may have some more usage opportunity with Evan Mobley being out. It wasn't like Mobley's a huge usage guy, but they did kind of focus their offense around him a little bit more. And now that he's out, a guy like Caris LeVert, who's kind of ball dominant, might get some more run. So I don't mind him at 5'9" as a tournament dart throw. Moses Brown, maybe he'll get some run, just being a backup big, but I don't think it's going to go to really anyone else on this side. Moving on to Orlando, Washington. Wendell is going to be out. Okay. So guys like Mo Bamba firmly in play. Had a horrendous game against Cleveland. I don't know what happened. I think all the starters got pulled in the last quarter, so they didn't get their full run. And I think they might be tanking, so definitely wait on news to see if any more guys get ruled out. But if they're playing the normal minutes, do like Cole Anthony at 6'8". Do like Mo Bamba at 6K. Franz, okay play. Chuma comes back and play with Wendell being out. He was playing around here when Wendell was out, and he's a decent point per minute guy, especially at 5'1". Don't mind him. He's going to jack up shots. Mo Wagner's back in play. Might creep up to about 25 minutes. He's an okay point per minute guy, not the best. So 4,500 is not like a great price for him, but not bad. Fultz still around 20 minutes. Don't think he had to do that. RJ's getting the start. I don't think he had to start last game, but yeah, don't think he had to go there as well. Just really like the three main guys if you're gonna go anywhere: Cole, Mo, and Chuma on the Orlando side. Unless there's news, got to keep an eye out on news. We're recording this basically the night before again, so gonna be a lot of time between now and the news and the slate start. So Porzingis at the top, 8-9. Did okay against the Bulls. Wasn't the best matchup against a better team, just in terms of keeping the game close and him having to shoulder the whole load. So he just had an okay game. Prices come up. I don't know if I'm going to get there anymore, even in this good matchup against Orlando. Don't think he had to do it. Kuzma is also questionable, so he may be back, which definitely eats up a little bit of usage of Porzingis. And I think if there's one guy to get to on this side, it would definitely be Kuzma at 7,600 if he's playing and he's playing full minutes, but we'll have to see. They may just tank and not play him at all. Sato still got the start, against the Bulls. As we can see, not the best scorer, not going to shoot a ton, but is still able to get you there. 25 fantasy points. His price is still 4,200. Can easily pay that off, especially if he has a good shooting game. He's going to do even better. So do really like Sato at 4,200 still. Moving on to Denver, Indiana. Jokic is an absolute beast. 72 fantasy points, 70, 47, 67. 12-4 is expensive, especially against Indiana, who is tanking. So this may be a blowout opportunity, but the Nuggets do need to win I think they do need to win to secure, their spot. So I do see them running their starters pretty much the whole game. Aaron Gordon played like LeBron in the first quarter against Charlotte and then did nothing else. So I don't think he had to chase there. Will Barton, as I always mention, he's going to have to be that second scoring option. It's usually not Aaron Gordon. So I do like Will a little bit, 5-7. Price isn't bad. Has strung 3 good games together. It may be disappointing, but you got to take that shot, Will, if you're going to play him. Bones, don't think it to do it. Monte Morris, his price is just so cheap. He's fluctuating between like 20 and 35 fantasy points, but at 4,700, he's going to get the minutes. He's going to, get the assist opportunities with Jokic, so I do like him. And I always got to mention Boogie. His minutes have been, slowly going down because they've been reliant on Jokic more, but it's always worth a dart throw if you want to play him. That's really it on the Denver side. Indiana, Halliburton went off for me last game, 57 fantasy points. It was great. Price is up to 9-7. They're tanking. He's still going to get a lot of run, but I don't think he had to do it, especially if they do play Brogdon. They've been holding them out just because they're tanking. So if he's back, I don't know if he'll play the whole game, especially if they get blown out. But it would take a little bit of usage away from Tyrese. But this side, it's really hard to get to anyone just because of the blowout risk and the tanking risk. And we still see guys like Goga, who's questionable. Isaiah Jackson's questionable. Duarte's out. They play the guys like Terry Taylor. Got 33 minutes, only 19 fantasy points. Justin Anderson, just floating around 20 fantasy points. There's just a lot of question marks on this side. We're going to have to wait for news tomorrow to get to more in depth on that. Miami side, Jimmy at top, 8-6. Do like him against Boston. This is a great game environment for both sides. I guess more Miami than Boston, but it's a playoff matchup from the bubble, and I think it was the Eastern semifinals. So I think this is going to be a great game, a good DFS scoring game. So good spot for Jimmy for 8-6. Same with Bam at 8-4. I don't know who's going to guard him on the Celtics side. Really like him at 8-4. Hero's price has come down a little bit, 6,900 for him. I still think that's a little bit of a chase. He strung 3 good games together, but I just don't like paying that price for Tyler. And that really does it for me on this side. It's pretty much just Bam and Jimmy. Boston side, Tatum and Brown are questionable, but they're both looking like they'll play. I think it's one of those where you got to get to Jaylen Brown over Tatum just because of the price. I mean, Tatum's not ruled, he's not out of play because of his price. He's still Jason Tatum, but I just really prefer Brown at 8,100. That really does it for me. Marcus Smart had a good game just because of Jaylen Brown and Tatum being out, but don't think he could chase that. Or White's price came up because those guys were out. Maybe a guy like Al Horford gets a little bit more run, some minutes. 5,900, not a bad price against Miami. He will have to guard Bam, so maybe he'll get closer to 35 minutes this game. Decent point per minute guy. Maybe you could look there. Maybe Tice gets a little bit more run because they're, Robert Williams is out. They don't know how long, so someone's going to have to back up at least 30, 35 minutes a game. So Daniel Tice is going to get some of that. Same with Grant Williams. Don't like Grant Williams. Not sure how he's in the NBA, but he'll definitely be getting some. I just say really look to guys like Al Horford, Jaylen Brown, or Jason Tatum on this side. Moving on to Charlotte and New York. We have LaMelo at the top, 9-2. Been playing really well recently, 41, 53, 64, 52. Prices come up. Don't like him in the spot against New York. New York's pretty slow. See the splits. He's averaging a good amount against New York, though, 22, 13, and 7. So seems like he does well against New York. If you want to play him in the spot, he'd probably be low owned, but I don't know if I'm going to get there. Bridges at 7-8. His price has stayed the same, but he's been playing pretty well recently. Don't mind getting to Miles Bridges at 7-8. I think this might be one of those games where Terry Rozier goes off for like 30, 35 actual points. So I don't mind taking a dart throw on Terry Rozier. He's had some few, past week he's been playing not good. And so I do like him a bit at 7,400. As I said, take a shot on Montrezl Harrell against Denver. Especially if Plumlee gets in foul trouble. Plumlee wasn't doing well. Put in Harrell. He put up 9, 5, and 2, I think, in the first quarter. And then he got ejected in the second. So always worth a shot on Montrez if you think he's going to get some extended run just from Plumlee being bad. Julius Randle, hate him. 5 fantasy points, or 5 points. Had him on Prize Picks for over 21.5. Got me 5. 5 all game. Screw him. Not worth my time. RJ's price come down 8,100. Not bad. Decent spot against Charlotte. He's just been playing so well recently. I don't know if this can last. 8,100 sounds like a great, discount for him, so I don't think he'd do it. Favorite play on the side's Quickly. Did bad against the Bulls, only shot 1 of 5. Whole team was pretty off, even though the game was close. I do like a bounce back opportunity against Charlotte for Quickly, especially in a pace up spot in the second unit. That does it for me on the New York side. Not much there. Minnesota, love Towns at 9-6. Another guy who got absolutely screwed. Prize Picks had him at 23. So over 23. He had 13 in the first quarter. Didn't get a point in the second. They were down 25 and only got 6 in the third. They're still down 25. Didn't play any fourth quarter. Brutal. Finished with 19. But I love him in the spot against Toronto. Great game matchup for him. No one's going to be able to guard him. Put up 24, 11, 3, and 3. 3, 3, and 3 against the Raptors. So don't mind him here. Love him here against Toronto. 9,600. Anthony Edwards had a decent game last game. 24 points. He's been all over the board recently. Not a bad price for him, especially against Toronto. I just don't know if he had to do it. D'Lo, 6,600. Maybe one of those D'Lo games where he pops off. Who knows? Not a bad spot against Toronto. But I just kind of, look to guys like pretty much just Towns on the side for me. That kind of does it. There's just a lot of news we had to wait for that's going to be coming out tomorrow. And so it's kind of hard to give a full in-depth review just kind of based on the news, how it can change a whole, game or even the whole slate. So just kind of skimming over people, kind of giving, the first feelers of the day before all the news breaks. Toronto side 9-6 for Pascal. A little pricey for me, but he's been playing great. 52, 44, 68, 54, 52, 46. Two teams that need to win this game. They're going to play their starters the whole game. Even though the prices for guys like Siakam and Van Fleet are elevated, they could easily pay him off. Van Fleet's been very disappointing. His price has not come down at all. He's getting a ton of minutes. And I just think it's a good game environment versus Toronto. He's definitely a guy that can get you a double-double upside, either with point rebounds or assists. Good three-point shooter, so I don't mind either one of these. They're not, A quality plays for me, but more of like B pluses, Bs. Scotty, no, 7,900. Not with everyone back. Gary Trent's back, 5,900. Score independent, don't think it's to go there. Yeah, that does it for me. It's really just the top two for me on this side for Toronto, and that's it. Sacramento, Houston, just a disgusting game. Two teams that are not playing for anything. Fox is still out, so that means Davion Mitchell is still the main guy. Price hasn't changed at all. $200 more. Still has all the usage, all the minutes. I'd say he's, pretty close to a lock again, just at 7,600. There's really no one on this team who's handling the ball more than him, having more shots than him. Harrison Barnes' price came down to 5,900. They just don't have a secondary guy on this team that can score. It's just kind of a mix of Barnes, Trey Lyles, we getting minutes and run. DiVincenzo, just no one can really score. I mean, my second favorite play on the side is, I guess, DiVincenzo at 5'3". It's just no one can really have that breakout game besides Davion Mitchell. And so right now, he's just my favorite play. Damian Jones has been getting the start, been playing okay. 4,800 is not bad for him, but I just say, Davion Mitchell and DiVincenzo for now on the Sacramento side. Houston side, Wood is out. Yep. So it looks like Sengun may begin to start again. Kevin Porter Jr., 7K. I don't mind him in this spot. With Wood being out, there's a lot of usage that has to go around. We know Kevin Porter Jr. he needs the ball in his hand. He's ball dominant. And I do think they're going to want to, let him just, play free. And as we saw last game, went off for 52 against the Spurs. Don't mind him at 7K. I guess Sengun is questionable. It's the leg injury. If he plays, I do like the price of 6,900 for him. He's a good point per minute guy. He can, have a huge game. As we can see, 50 fantasy points. 6,900 is not the best price for him, but in this game against the piss poor Kings, not really scared of any defense on that side for him. Jalen Green's just too score independent for me. He's had 3 back-to-back good games, but don't want to chase that for 6,500. If Sengun is out, you can definitely look to guys like Jayshawn Tate, who will get some run. KJ Martin will probably get a lot of run. Still playing 26 minutes, so you can expect that maybe to go to 30, 35 if Sengun is out. KJ is a decent point per minute guy. It doesn't really look like it just because he's getting 26 minutes, but that's him being like the backup center coming in, backup power forward. He's just kind of a very, energetic guy. Kind of like a Jayshawn Tate, not as good as a ball handler, but he can definitely get you rebounds and points. That really does it for me on this side. It's just a very bad game. Just got to kind of wait on that Sengun news because it kind of changes some plays if he's out. We have Trae Young at the top, 11K. Great price for Trae Young. Kind of disappointing shooter-wise last game. The only risk with this game is it blowing out against OKC. OKC is in full tank mode. So even if it's one of those things, Trae Young is probably going to be very low ownership just because people will probably expect this game to blow out like they did with Luka tonight. And Luka was able, for some reason, Luka played the whole game just because probably the Lakers starters played the whole game, so they just didn't want to give up a lead. If they pulled Luka went for 75. So if you think that's going to happen with Trae, Atlanta needs to win this game. So maybe they just gave him extended run, but who knows? Bogdan is back. Do like him, at 6,600 versus OKC. It's just kind of that blowout risk. If they blow him out very early, these top three guys can be very limited. Got to wait for the Gallinari news as well. He's questionable. Yeah, it's just, it's kind of a question mark on this Atlanta side right now. But if I were to play someone, it would be Trae Young or Bogdan. OKC side, SGA is obviously out for this season. So it's Giddey. We got Poku, 6'7". Really turning on at the end, the last part of the game. But for the first 3 quarters, he's very disappointing. 6'7" is not a bad price for a guy who's going to play 30 to 40 minutes in a game. Even if this game blows out, all the guys on the OKC side are going to see run. Isaiah Roby had like a career game, 38-4. Shot very well, especially from 3. I just think that's a little bit of a chase. Trey Mann is questionable. That's kind of big news. If he's out, Theo Maledon is going to get the start again, even though he's going to be the point guard. Had a great game last game, great few games. Love Theo Maledon at 5,700. Even if Trey Mann's in, still like him a lot. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. He's kind of like the alpha of the guys who are still playing for OKC, so don't mind him. Wiggins, 4,600, got a ton of minutes, ton of run. Shot the ball really well, which, we haven't seen him do all season, really. And it's just kind of a crapshoot. So I'd rank these guys on the OKC side. Maledon, number 1. Trey Mann, number 2. And then Poku and Wiggins, 3. 3A and 3B, giving Poku the slight edge. And I know Vit got some run last game, didn't do much. Don't think he'd go there. I just look 2 guys like Maledon, Trey Mann, and Poku, and Wiggins. One of those, maybe 2 of them would be, a good thing to start your lineup with tomorrow. Memphis side, we have Desmond Bane, top 7,700. Their main guy with Ja being out. I do like this price for Desmond Bane, especially in this game against the Spurs. Spurs need a win. They are in the playoff spot over the Lakers right now. And so I think they're going to want to keep that, obviously. And so they're going to play the starters the whole game, not going to tank. So Memphis, it's one of those things where I don't think Memphis are going to run their guys the whole game. Just with about 6 or 7 games left in the NBA season, Memphis has the number 2 spot secured. So I don't think there's any question. I know against the Warriors, he didn't play the 4th quarter, I don't believe. Even though he got there points-wise. I know fantasy points-wise, he did not get there in prize picks. So there is a little bit of question of these guys not playing the 3rd or 4th quarter, even if the game is close, just because I've given them rest. So that does make them a little iffy on my side. Tyus Jones, disappointing. As I said, don't chase him. If you're going to go on a guy, go to DeAnthony Melton. Can still easily get you there because he's a good shooter. Had past 5 games, been playing unbelievable. Maybe you could say he's going to have a game where he cools off. Maybe it's this game. But if you're going to chase someone on the side, I say it'd be DeAnthony Melton and then Desmond Bane. And that's it. The Spurs side, we have DeJounte Murray, 11-2. Really like him. He's the whole team. Triple-double upside. They need to win. Pace up spot against the Spurs or the Grizzlies. Really like him. Total 7K. Okay price for him. He can definitely get you in the 40s, but 7K is a little iffy. Keldon Johnson. Just, the price is right. Same with Vassell. Price is right. Is shooting the ball a ton, not shooting it well. So maybe, you could take a chance on him having a good, shooting game, playing off the 5,600, getting you into maybe the 30s or 40s. If 5,600 isn't bad. So maybe take an eye on him. And Zach Collins. He's getting about 20 minutes a game. Is a good point per minute guy off the bench. 3,600. I do really like him in the spot against Memphis. So I did say definitely DeJounte's number 1, then Zach Collins, and then Vassell, and then the rest of the guys. Moving on to the last 2 games. This has been a long video, so it's going to be a good one because I'm putting it out tonight so you guys can watch it all throughout tomorrow. but it will probably change due to the injury news. Booker 9-5. It's just one of those games where this might be a game where both Phoenix and Golden State rest their guys. Phoenix has the number 1 spot secured. Golden State doesn't have the number 2 secure, I think. Or no, it's Phoenix. Memphis has number 2. And then Golden State's in number 3. And I think they're only a game up on the Mavs. I think it's the Mavs. And so they might try to win this game. So Phoenix side, I don't know if I'm going to go to any of these guys just because of the chance of them not getting a full run. We'll have to keep an eye out on the news for this side to go over that. Golden State side, Steph's still out. Clay at the top, 8,500. Just very expensive for a guy who he can get you rebounds and assists, but you just really need him to shoot well. Against the Phoenix, defense, I don't know. 8,200 for Jordan Poole. Price is coming up. He is, doing everything for them, but it's still hefty price to pay for him. Kuminga. This is one of those games where it's all dependent on the news. We get to wait and see if Phoenix is going to give their guys full run, or if they don't, then we're going to want to go to those backup Phoenix guys to play, and then maybe some Golden State guys, depending on who they play, who's in, who's out. So that's a question mark game. We'll have to leave that till tomorrow, unfortunately. And then the Pelicans, Portland Pelicans, want to solidify a playoff spot. Excuse me. So they're going to give their guys full run. CJ 8-8, like him in the spot, even with Brandon Ingram back. I think CJ can easily pay off his price, especially against Portland, who's running like a bunch of G League guys. Valanciunas is questionable, but it looks like he will probably play. Good spot at 8,300 against. I really like him in the spot of 8,300 against Portland. No one on that Portland side is big enough to guard Valanciunas. He should have a monster game. Brandon Ingram, talked about him last game. He only played 26 minutes. He was on the minutes limit, but got 41 fantasy points. I think they might bump up his minutes to at least 30. If not, give him full run. Really like him in this spot at 7,300. He's been playing great when he's been playing and not injured. So really, really like Brandon Ingram at 7,300. And that does it for me on the New Orleans Pelicans side. Really like these guys today for the late game hammer. And then Portland side is just an absolute mess. Eubanks had a career game against OKC. Don't think he could chase that 8,100. Don't really think he's going to be able to handle Valanciunas. Brandon Williams had like a career game. Everyone in that OKC Portland game had like a career game. They all went off. All their prices are really elevated. I just don't really think he'd get to any of these guys. Maybe a guy like Keon Johnson. He'll play a ton. Price didn't get elevated because of that game. He's a little scoring dependent, but can get you some peripherals. Got 4 steals, so that kind of bumps him up a little bit. Chris Dunn, still limited. I know McLemore had a good shooting game. 10 to 22, 8 of 18 from 3. Very score independent. Don't think it to go there. I just think on this side, if you want to take a shot on a guy, maybe Brandon Williams. He's the point guard, has all the usage, getting a ton of run. Pretty good score. 74 is not a good price for him, but a guy with all the usage, I don't mind it. And then taking a shot on a guy like Keon Johnson. Otherwise, I just kind of stick to those Pelicans guys. And yeah, I think it's a little too early to go for a core, but really like Vooch, or not Vooch, I don't know why I keep saying Vooch. It is late, it's 1 a.m., so I apologize if I've been rumbling and stumbling through this. But I really like Ingram and Valanciunas. If we're doing 2 of them, you're gonna want to get one guy, so I'd say that. This is what I'm starting with for now. Kind of the core I'm looking at as of 16 hours till the slate even begins. A lot of news is going to happen, so I don't know if this is going to hold up. Maybe 1 or 2 of these guys, but thank you guys for tuning in. I know this is a very long video, about 30 minutes of rambling and talking, But I hope you guys like this one, and I'm putting it up now, so you guys will be able to enjoy it for a good amount of the day until the news comes out and kind of ruins everything I talked about. But I did go over some if-then statements, so you guys should be prepared, but definitely keep an eye on the news. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Give us the video a like, subscribe. I will have a Prize Picks video coming out later today, and stay tuned for that. We did 3 out of 5 again today, so that's 4 out of 5. 4 of the 5 past days we've been doing 3 out of 5 or better with the picks, so definitely rocking and rolling with that. And I think tomorrow we're finally get 5 for 5. I'm going to cook up a nice 5 for 5 picks wise. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.